Welcome to the second video on making a header file. What I've done is I've copied and pasted this on a brand new input here. I have my include con.io. I've copied and pasted the class game location from the previous video, and that's all I have here. I don't have any init main. I just have this one class called game location, and along with it I included the con.io. The reason why I need the con.io is in order to use this particular method, get character, or some might say it's a function. So this is exactly what I had in the previous video, where we had if direction is equal to q, then the location is -1, and this method get location is going to return an integer. And this right here, this is simply a constructor that initializes location and direction. Now when I save this, I am going to save this particular source as a header file. So what I do now, and when I go save as, I come here and you see I can have this drop down menu here. You see it says header files. I click on that and I save it as a header file. I happen to call it mystuff.h. Alright, so that's what mystuff.h looks like. Mystuff.h looks just like this. It has a method in it called game location. Has a method in it called get location. The class is called game location. Okay? Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the file that uses this class. And it's called, I come under here now and I look at my C++ stuff and I happen to call it game x2, and I look at this and I open it, and now what's different here is I included mystuff.h. That's the header file that I save that particular class in. The class is called game location, and I have it inside quotation marks, unlike with the IO stream, which is in between the less than sign and the greater than sign. The reason why I have it in quotation marks means that it's in my regular file that I save all my other stuff at. It's in my C++ folder. It's in that location. This is in a different folder. Don't worry about those now. Those are the ones that sort of come store-bought, and I want to leave them where they are. This is my new stuff. So now with that, all I need is my class game, and what I'm going to do here, this is public, show location. Game location is what? That's the name of the class that's in mystuff.h. So I'm going to instantiate it and have an object called myLocation. I got the value, and while the value does not equal -1, this is the same kind of a class I had in the previous video. Nothing's changed except for this. And now I'm going to have that the value is going to equal to myLocation.getLocation. GetLocation is a method, if you recall, that returns the value that's inside the class game location, which comes from the header file mystuff.h. And then I come down here and I have the same thing I had before, game right here, my game show location, and I go ahead and I compile it, and now I go W key, and it works. I'm hitting W key, now the S key goes back, I keep hitting the S key, I hit the Q key to quit, and it quits. Now I'm sure you're probably saying, wait a minute, why is this better? I see this mystuff.h. How do I know what game location is? How do I know that game location is the name of the class that's in mystuff.h? Furthermore, how do I know that getLocation is a method that's within that class game location? Well, I have to tell you, what you see here is part of the problem of trying to understand scripting languages that go with other kinds of game editors. an example might be the UDK3 editor scripting language. It's a very powerful scripting language, but within that scripting language you'll see things like this. All of a sudden this just pops up from nowhere. Well, if you see something like that, you have to realize that game location must be the name of a class, because it's being used as an identifier, and it's not a standard C++ identifier like int is. So okay, so you must realize that it's being instantated. So somebody knew that a class game location was inside this header file. They also had to know that a method inside the header file was called getLocation. Just from what I have here, I can't see the code for getLocation. Neither can I see what's inside game location. But I have to know that that's where these terms come from. This is not a standard C++ reserved word. This is the name of a class that comes from somewhere. Well, it comes from here, mystuff.h. And this right here is the name of a method that's obviously returning a value that's inside the class called GameLocation. So the purpose of this was not only show you how to make a header file, but also to show you that in doing so, all of a sudden I got to have things pop up like from where did that come from and how do I know what that name is. So when you go into games scripting languages such as like the UDK3 scripting, you have to be aware of that you've got to go to the source somewhere, like in this case mystuff.h, and actually see what's inside there to make sense of really what's happening out here. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.